shows that he's ready and he's got the level, and yeah, he's a wonderful competitor, and he's sort of, that sense he's sort of older than his years are. So yeah, I mean, it's worked out great, and he's sort of grabbed the opportunity and ran with it.
Yeah, and look, I want to ask you about 5 and 6, the options you have there, because I know you have a bunch, but that nucleus of your lineup, dare I say, the meat in the Harvard singles lineup sandwich, Ronan, David, Henry, to have certainty in that group. Again, 3 guys you've gone to war with now for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the leadership role they seem to have embraced this season, because I know just hanging out with your team, it was very clear who people are revolving around whom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that having experience up at the top is huge, and it is hard to cut your teeth. I mean, Cooper really is an exception of what it takes as a freshman to make your mark, but to have Henry, as a senior, he's older, he had a COVID year, so and then I have Danny Malofsky, who's been playing 3, and he hasn't lost a match yet. He's actually grown so much as a competitor from his first year. And he's just gaining experience every day, and he's got a big serve, big forehand, and so he's I think teammates count on him to keep producing, and Ronan, who again, a veteran senior, he was a semifinalist at Kalamazoo. He's got game, he's got experience, and that helps, right? You want to draw on that, and then for it to be good, you also have to have some younger kids step up. Melchior has been doing a wonderful job at 5, and really big serves, big forehands, and he's got quite a game. I think that's gonna do well in college tennis.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And again, not only he, but we've seen Masato play at the number 6 spot. I've seen you work in a couple of different options. Heading into this weekend, it's a big one. I know 3 or 4 top 16 matches guaranteed. Do you feel like your lineup is set, or are you still experimenting a little, both singles and doubles this weekend?
I mean, I think that the lineups will over time just keep moving. I mean, if you want to be responsive, their levels aren't always set. People take a step forward, they take a step back, and so some of that is there's a progression there. So it won't be set for the as we go through the year, certainly. And I think there has to be some wiggle room, and you also have to according to the rules, you got to sort of follow where the results are. And that should lead you for how you put your lineup together. But yeah, I mean, I think there'll always be chances for people to get opportunities, and can you grab them and make the most of it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And speaking of an opportunity, last 2 questions for you. Of all the teams you could have drawn, it's a team you know well. Yeah. Obviously, in Columbia, 8 versus 9. It's the Friday night match here at the Milstein Tennis Center. Obviously, this is not the bubble. This is a little bit different. But I'm curious, that Harvard matchup, what you're looking forward to most about it.
Well, I mean, I think it's always exciting. The Harvard-Columbia is really sort of, I think because teams have done so well, that's really sort of earned this. I know Howie does a great job and builds really competitive teams, and they're well coached. They've got great level, and so you're always sort of testing yourself. And I just like almost all of our matches, it's going to come down to a couple points. The margins are very slim, and so every once in a while you get that one, and then the other, you lose a couple of the big points and you don't. I mean, we were talking earlier, but the margins in college tennis against good teams is very small. If you don't have a good day, you lose, so, this is a great opportunity to be here in a beautiful new facility and get a chance to, play against some rivals, I guess. Virginia's playing Duke, and so we don't follow the women's seeding rules where, you would sort of avoid some matchups with, oh, geez, that's me. Oh, that's for the coach's call.
That's funny. Well, we can leave it in. West stuff will edit around it, but. Yeah, no, I again, just to finish that thread, obviously it's a massive opportunity here for your team. And so my final question to you is, beyond even just Friday, what does a winning weekend in your mind look like for Harvard? Beyond even just a national title, what do you want to see from the guys this weekend?
We talk always, we try to just take the distractions out and just lock in on what's their game, how are they playing more points in their patterns than their opponents. And if you're trying to do that and you're succeeding in that, usually you're doing pretty well. We know we're competitive with everybody, and we get a chance to sort of show it out here. So I think expectations are high that we want to compete and show what we got, and just keep advancing the ball. I mean, the goal still is you're doing your best in May, and I think the programs that focus on development and building those skills are the ones that keep improving. And I'm ready for it, and we're excited to see the action here.
No, absolutely. Well, speaking of excited, I do want to point out for all of you tuning in at home, we had one coach participate in a challenge you're all going to see released on the ITA social media moving forward. Let me just say, you are our best participant, coach, a player, otherwise. Coach Rube, it was a blast to see you, and we appreciate you participating with us so willingly. We also always appreciate the chance to chat with you, to watch the Crimson compete. So, Coach, good luck this weekend, and always appreciate the chance to chat.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, excited to be here. Glad that you're here, too.
Every bounce, every swing deserves precision. Introducing Swing Vision, the future of tennis right on the phone.
And a pleasant good afternoon. Welcome to the quarterfinals of the 2024 ITA National Men's Team Indoor Championships. Our first match of the day here at the USTA National Tennis Center. Billie Jean King National Tennis Center features Texas A&M and TCU. I'm Mike Cation joining you here. We're going to have Alex Gruskin joining us on the call here in a little bit. This is obviously our temporary stream just for a bit of time, as that match between Virginia and Tennessee just wrapping up, with Virginia moving into the semifinals. We'll be here for a bit, then move over to the main feed here. The Cracked Racquets cross-court cast. But for now, we'll stay here on these three courts. Doubles is now underway here between the 7-0 Texas A&M Aggies and the 7-0 Texas Christian University Horned Frogs. As you can see, coin toss is now complete here on court number 1. So let's go through our two teams. Of course, A&M coming off of that 4-1 victory over South Carolina, losing the doubles point, but winning the 1, 2, 3, and 4 yesterday. TCU dominant performance over Arizona State, 4-0. Doubles plus the 4, 5, and 6. As we move here to court number 1 for the Texas A&M, featuring Giulio Perego, the junior out of Milan, Italy, and Togan Tokac, the sophomore from Istanbul, Turkey. These two did pick up a victory for A&M yesterday, 3-6 over South Carolina. Lost to South Carolina 6-2, in the first set. That the doubles point, losing the doubles point overall. But yeah, an interesting matchup here at the 1 spot. These two 3-3 so far on the season. On the other side, Sebastian Gorsny, the sophomore from Austin, Texas, and Pedro Vives, the junior from Palma de Mallorca, Spain. So far together, just a really dominant performance. Did not finish their matchup yesterday, but so far 3-1 together on the season, up at the 1 spot and ranked number 8 in the country. So really impressive performance so far from TCU, up at the top spot of their doubles lineup, as Perregos serving here to get us started. Points here at 40 love. And again, we are at a different site than obviously Tennessee and Virginia. We're going to be taking you over to the Cracked Racquets main feed here once we get that ready for you here in the next couple of minutes. And winning this title in 2018, TCU, of course, winning this title the last couple of years. Last year in Chicago, Illinois. Still a game point here before the Aggies. It's also really interesting to think about the fact that doubles has been a little bit more of a struggle for A&M this year, despite the fact that they are undefeated. Nobody on their team ranked as a doubles team as of yet. Obviously, having the number 1 player in the world at the ATP level in Austin Krajicek a couple of years ago, Jackson Withrow as well. Some of the incredible talented players that they've had come through College Station over the last couple of years. It's weird to see nobody from A&M ranked as of yet. That miss into the net does give A&M the opening hold as we move down to the 2 line. First up here for the Aggies, the junior Luke Casper of Santa Cruz, California, and J.C. Roddick, the junior transfer originally from San Antonio, Texas, transferring from Central Florida. taking on Jake Fernley, fifth-year senior out of Edinburgh, Scotland, and Jack Pinnington-Jones, sophomore from Ashted, England. Moments here for this one as well. And again, no ranking on the A&M side, no ranking here on the double side for TCU as well. But certainly this is one with a lot of firepower in it. Roddick, obviously a very intense player. About to take this return on the ad side. He was in a very heated matchup yesterday in that matchup with South Carolina, really animated. And he was probably the most consistent player from start to finish yesterday for the Aggies. A decent reflex volley out of Luke Casper there before I can't quite come up with it. So it's an interesting matchup here at the 2 line as we move down to number 3. This was a tough loss for the Aggies yesterday for Perot and Pires. They were up in early 2 breaks at 3-love before falling 7-5, and what did cost Texas A&M that doubles point yesterday. Perot and Pires, the senior out of France. Pires, the freshman from France, taking on Duncan Chan, another freshman for TCU out of Markham, Ontario, Canada, and the veteran junior, Louis Maxted of Worthing, England. These two actually come in as the 20th ranked team in the country. Nice boon for TCU to have them at the 3 line. A little bit of an opening here for A&M early. They're going to have some break chances, 4 of them, in fact, as that gets us to love 40. And formation coming here for the Horned Frogs. And broken at love. So it is Texas A&M with the first break of the day coming at the 3 line. Yeah, you're certainly considering, again, just looking at this big picture right now as we move back to our 3 spot here with 1 in the main frame. You know, again, looking at this on paper here, you certainly say, well, TCU's got a little bit higher ranking, maybe some of the junior rankings as well, the higher ranked recruits, if you will, over the last couple of years. But A&M, obviously under the direction of Steve Denton, what they've been able to produce over the last several years on the double side, Kevin O'Shea as well, the associate head coach, just a lot of great veteran leadership, and they teach doubles incredibly well. TCU under the direction of David Roditi, I mean, his 13th year, 8 top 10 finishes for Roditi in his 13 years in Fort Worth, Texas. Devin Bowen in his 10th year as the assistant coach. And I think you are going to hear, obviously, a little bit more animation from A&M here today. Certainly J.C. Roddick leading the way in terms of that vocality. Maybe they're the ones with a little bit more to prove in this matchup. Good spot here early in this battle as Disney serving here at love 1. He's the Wimbledon junior doubles champion a couple years ago with Alex Mickelson, who's likely watching from somewhere. That pick up a little bit casual and properly dealt with. You know, 2 break chances here for the Aggies. Nicely dealt with there. That's sure-handed there at the net. His ability to inject pace on the single side is truly remarkable to me. They're going to go for, looks like the deuce side here for this deciding point. And high formation here for the Horned Frogs. Turn into the bottom of the net, and Gorsny does grab that opening hold to get us to 1 game all here on court number 1. Just that early break so far, actually now on both the 2 and the 3 lines. Casper and Roddick with an early break as well, over Fernley and Pennington. So great start here for A&M. A very emotional victory for them yesterday as well over South Carolina, one of the two upsets on the day. Technically 3 with Harvard defeating Columbia. As you missed it earlier, Virginia, our first semifinalist, 5-1 over Tennessee. Singles wins at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. 5 was getting close to being in the Tennessee column. At the end of that matchup, Alex Gruskin wrapping up some interviews over there, and then he will join us on the main feed in just a couple of minutes. I don't know that we're going to see a ton of opportunities in this particular matchup here. Perego, Tokac, Gosny, and Vives. In terms of just that capacity with the serves, the huge frames here for the two Aggies. Going to make things very difficult with big serves throughout, and game points here for Perego and Tokac. The outside of the line, looks like it did. Decent little swing. Yeah, I've gotten to see Pedro Vives up at the pro level the last year or so. Quarterfinalist at the Kerry Challenger last year, top 600 ATP, and I just am very impressed with his composure. And again, maybe a 6'1" frame, really that ability to inject pace, big tree trunk of legs. That is sent over to Harlem, my goodness. Oh, he had some heat. And it didn't even look like there was a massive swing on that volley either. That's just raw power. Contain yourself, young man. It's going to be a deciding point, actually, if we can put it on court number 2 right now. Deciding point on the serve of Luke Casper of Texas A&M is upcoming. Just fought off a break chance here. JPJ. Pennington taking this on the deuce side. Oh, got burned up the alley. It's Luke Casper coming up with the goods as he does consolidate the break. It's a 3-love lead right now for the Aggies at the 2 line. So they continue to have these break leads. Let's go over to court number 3, which is one spot where we've got a little bit of action. We're in changeovers at both 1 and 2. Pero Pires. And again, some of the mentality that they had yesterday, I actually talked to Rafael Pero after the match yesterday. He did come through with a 4-6 victory up at the top of the lineup in singles yesterday, but again, that really kind of humbling loss, the 3 line of doubles. He said it really just get them to focus and refocus early in the singles. Just that idea of just kind of punched in the face and really needing to respond in singles, and they did incredibly well yesterday. But I have a feeling, the potential closeout here on the double side as we get deeper into this set is going to be pretty high. So here for no chance there. That is some smoke right there from the Horned Frogs. Tennis that's being played here. Some warm-ups for Texas and Michigan, which is in the back draw here, coming up in just about 2 or 3 hours from now. The conclusion of this one. Still in playing field for Pero. This is at the far right side of our bank of courts. Technically court number 6 for us. That will sail for 2 here for the Aggies, continuing to hold on to this lead. Let's go over to court number 1. Check in on this one. It's Pedro Vives, final member of the quartet, serving at 30-15. Junior out of Palma de Mallorca, trained at the Rafa Nadal Academy. He was a beast last year for TCU, going 11-2 in singles duels. This year, 3-1 at the 3 spot, unfinished yesterday. And Jake Fernley had the most bad luck yesterday. He was a match point against Murphy Casson when the match concluded. Just found myself thinking it, technically within the rules, that's how it works. I think we need to start getting to that point, especially in matchups like this, where we finish out the game if it is a potential closeout game. Maybe that's just me, but I think that seems like it'd be once a game starts, you finish it. But that's just me. They haven't made me commissioner of collegiate tennis yet. Alex Gruskin first in line for that role. Game point here for Vives. Looked like that might have missed back. Indeed, it did. So 2 games all here. Let's go back over to court number 2 because Texas A&M has a little bit of an opening here. It's 15-30 as we pop in on the serve of Jake Fernley. A bit of a routine that missed there. Kicker serve that didn't really get into the body with the same pace that I think Fernley would have wanted, but gets it done there. Devin Bowen. I mean, let's just talk here for a second about the incredible playing talents of the coaches here. I mean, Steve Denton, obviously 2-time Australian Open finalist, the U.S. Open doubles title in '82. Obviously, Roditi was a guy who was as high as 41 in the world, the ATP level. Great pickup from Fernley in good depth, but on top of it, Devin Bowen is a guy who is number 39 in the world, ATP. I mean, you have some incredible playing talent in the coaching staffs right now for these 2 teams out of Texas. So game point here for Jake Fernley. That was a decent pickup once again. Jake Fernley is a very impressive prospect, and be really interested to see how his pro career develops as he heads into it this summer, as he gets it to 3-1 here. Let's go over to court number 1. There is a little bit of an opening here for TCU. So serve up go at 15-30. Take that back. I apologize. It is Tokac serving over there. That didn't feel right. That's what it's listed as on our scoreboard. Hard for me to see, but from my particular vantage point on that particular coach. But yeah, that is Tokac who is serving. Apologies for that. It's a tough one for Gorsny, and knew he probably needed to be that one step closer there to take that reflex, but so hard to do that when you have and stepping into the court and trying to take that slider overhead. Was there a let called? Yeah, it looks like there was a let called here. Okay. That return called wide, and it stays wide. So that does get us to 3-2. We stay on serve here at the one line of doubles. All right, so we're going to give you at this point about a 5-minute warning here that we are going to be heading over to the main feed for the Cracked Racquets cross-court cast. So you've got about 5 minutes. Daniel Westoff is going to put the link to that particular stream in this chat, in the YouTube chat here, so you'll be able to find it and head over. We're going to start transitioning you over there. Alex Gruskin will be waiting for you. I'll get over there in just a couple of minutes. So you've got about 5 minutes right now to start heading over to that particular stream. We'll give you another couple of minutes to get there. Let's quickly, if we can, though, head over to court number 2. Keep an eye on this one. Roddick serving. And so we'll stay here for the end of this game. It is a break chance. On the Roddick serve here for Fernley and Pennington. And again, you'll want to start heading over maybe after the conclusion of this game, starting to head over to that link that Daniel has posted for you for the main feed here on the Cracked Racquets cross-court cast. Again, break chance coming here for the Horned Frogs. And this break point, it's leveled out over on court number 3. 4-all now, so back on serve there. So just the break lead right now for A&M on this court. Yeah, that's going to miss long. You can tell from that reaction from Jake Fernley after the pickup. So a deciding point. It looks like Pennington's going to take it on the deuce side. Again, things have leveled out at the 1 and the 3 spots for the moment. There's a little bit of an opening for A&M on court number 3. But a big spot here for TCU. Is A&M still in control right now of their destiny. That's a massive serve from J.C. Roddick to keep he and Luke Casper out in front. It is 4-1. So again, this is your time now to head over to the link posted in the chat. That's going to be our main feed. I'm going to head over there as well. We'll keep these cameras going just for a couple more minutes, maybe about 2 more minutes. But you'll want to click on that link, head over to the main feed for the cross-court cast here as part of Cracked Racquets coverage of the 2024 ITA Men's National Team Indoor Championships. We'll be over there in just a moment.
just it's a great honor, and this has been a real work in progress. And we were so privileged when the ITA decided to allow us to host, and we're glad that we're glad to be here. We're glad to be have earned our way into the event, and excited about the weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun, and you mentioned it. This Milstein Tennis Center, a process in the making, and for those that don't know, 6 indoor courts. I have tweeted this out already. It still smells new in here, which is maybe my favorite part. Is you can just tell we are a part of something special. But 6 indoor, 6 outdoor on the roof as well. That is the coolest thing we have facility-wise in tennis. Period. I'm going to speak for all the facilities. Talk me through some of the inspiration. Talk me through. You mentioned the Milstein family, their contribution in helping to make this possible.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Alex. Well, Philip and Cheryl Milstein are Columbia and Barnard grads, and Philip was on the team in the early 70s, and since I started as a first year at Columbia in '83, he's always been a mentor and friend, and someone who's always supported us in every way. And they're just incredible people. They care about our guys as people more than tennis players, or just as much as tennis players. And this is just something that we've talked about. When I came on my recruiting trip, I think I told you this earlier, Alex. When I came on my recruiting trip in 1983, we were talking about a new facility, and here we are 40 years later, and we got it. And it's amazing. And then the roof, it's New York City, so there's you've got to be really smart and efficient with the land. And then our athletic director, Peter Pilling, who's been terrific supporter in the entire process, he said, why don't we think about stacking it on top? And then because we have 40, the roof of the indoor facility is 40 feet, and then we put it up on top here in the beautiful northernmost tip of Manhattan on the water. So it's really special.
No, it is so beautiful. I don't like that it was 40 years ago you were on your recruiting trip. That makes us all feel old. I don't like that 1983 is 40 years ago. That just doesn't feel right from a timeline perspective. And so we'll have to work on getting that straight moving forward. But, again, to open up a facility with the team that you have, I'm curious because there's obviously a long history, and I've gotten to know your brother better, who has helped share some of the history of Columbia men's tennis as I prepared for this event. But you've had a lot of good teams. You've been either head coach, assistant for. I feel like in any other season, the group you have would be an unequivocal top 5 team, an unequivocal inner circle team. Now, obviously, depth in college tennis this year, nothing is unequivocal. But I'm curious. You've played Wakes, you've played the Tennessees, the UNCs of the world, and your team is having some serious success. How have you thought, or what have you thought about this group so far here in 2024?
Yeah, it's a great point. Well, as you know, we played Tennessee here last 1 week ago, Friday night. We had an incredible crowd after work here in Manhattan, and I guess our guys played really well, competed hard, and I guess they're a top 5 team, right? So we've been, we feel good. We have a good mix of kind of older guys. You were talking to several of them, and then some young players like Michael is obviously, Michael Zhang has obviously been terrific, All-American as a first year. Nicholas Kotzin has improved tremendously. Those guys are sophomores, so we feel like we have a nice mix of guys, a good group of guys who are just focusing on improvement and development every day. And let's, like we say, let's just give everything we can. We'll see where it goes.
In that spirit of development, for those that are less familiar, they may not remember 2020. Obviously, everyone's season wiped out by COVID, but 2021, Ivy League athletes lost their athletic seasons as well. And I'm just curious. So 2 full years of no tennis. We've talked in the past about how that impacted your team. Do you feel like you guys have caught up, just to put it bluntly?
Well, it's funny you say that, because what was that, 21 that we spoke in Kalamazoo, right?
Something like that,
It was 21, and when we started again in September, after 2 years off, we only had 2 players left. Everybody was gone because the Ivy League rules, all our guys just graduated. And then we had 8 new players. We had 8 new players that September and no facility because they were building this. So we're just bouncing around everywhere and, just trying to keep it together. And then our guys have grown. The seniors now that's the year where their senior year of high school stopped in March.
Yeah.
And then their entire first year at Columbia was all virtual. So these guys weren't on campus at all. So then they got here, and then there's no facility because the old facility was demolished a couple of months after COVID started. So it's definitely been a transition to get it going, and our guys, to their credit, we've been bouncing around a lot, but now we're here, and we're really glad to be here.
It's an amazing story to tell, and with my last 2 questions, I want to ask, again, it's still early in the season, it's February, you feel like no one at this point knows exactly what their team is, but I want to ask just bluntly, how good is this team in your mind? You've been around a lot of good groups. Does this group have top 8 in it? Like pushing, again, top 16 seed is one thing. But first 3 rounds at the Milstein Tennis Center, that's pretty appealing as you open up a new facility. Does this team have that in it?
Yeah, I know you mentioned it. You mentioned it on your podcast earlier in the year, and we were able to host the regionals the 2 years prior to COVID. 18 and 19, and those were really good teams. We hosted at the U.S. Open because we didn't have any outdoor courts. And then COVID cut it all short in March of 2020. And, let's see. There's a lot of people. We did a walkthrough with the officials, and they're saying, maybe we'll be back here again. And this, let's see where it goes. It's like we don't really want to limit anything or make any predictions. I just feel like let's see what can happen. We feel pretty good of how our guys are getting better, about how they're getting better, and there's a few things to kind of work through to continue to improve. But let's just see. Like you said, I mean, look, we played North Carolina here at the end of January. We had a great match there. We had a great match with Wake down in Winston. They were absolutely terrific. NC State in Raleigh, we were down 3-0. We ended up getting through that 4-3. Hashimoto 6-4 in the third, and then we played Tennessee here. So we feel like we're kind of, what would be to say, we're like in the pond. We're swimming in that. We're swimming in that pond now, and but everybody is really good, and everybody is close, and we're just going to do everything we can to be as prepared as possible for every match.
Yeah, well, I love to hear that. My last question then for you is, of course, Harvard, 6:30 p.m. Friday night. We're all excited for it, but beyond that, looking at this weekend, what in your mind would constitute a victory for the Columbia Lions?
Oh, that's a good look. That was a funny. We saw the draw, and and I think there's quite a few matchups intra-conference.
Duke, UVA, won a couple others also.
Yeah, and I know there were a few last year and the year before. But look, every team is really good. Every team here got through kickoff, deserves to be here, like that. And there's a lot of really good teams that aren't here. So for us, we're just gonna go out there and compete as well as we can, and we'll see how it shakes out at the end.
Yeah, well, that's half the fun, is getting to watch it all shake out. Sincerely, Coach, appreciate you having us all here to enjoy this weekend in New York, and wishing the Lions tons of success this weekend. So good luck to you.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah.
Every bounce, every swing deserves precision. Introducing Swing Vision, the future of tennis right on your phone. Track your shots, analyze your game, and bring the Grand Slam experience to your court. Challenge any court instantly. Join the thousands already transforming their game. Download Swing Vision for free today.
College tennis is a super special thing. It's really important for student athletes and student tennis players to be able to participate in college tennis.
It's important to know your history and to know about the people that came before you. College athletics for women and college tennis is really built on that foundation that others set.
Life transforms itself, and we have to learn, we have to acknowledge the past. We are that thread.
College tennis was everything to me when I played, and has just set my life up going forward in a great trajectory.
To be a part of a Hall of Fame, I think it is just a wonderful way to celebrate such a great sport.
Have fun with this.
Okay, ready?
Yep, ready.
Welcome to the
Welcome to the Red Apple. Welcome to New York City.
I think you said what up to the first team players.
Welcome to the city that never sleeps.
welcome to the Philip.
Philip?
Yes.
And Cheryl Milstein Tennis Center.
What is Pikachu doing in the Philippines?
I did, there's no way. And
Cheryl Milstein.
Michelin.
No.
Mexican.
Milstein.
Bill Shee.
Bill. No, very close.
Try.
Milstein.
Bill Chee.
No.
Welcome.
Wallop.
Welcome.
Yes.
To
The.
yeah.
Philip
Milstein Family Tennis Center.
Philip and Cheryl.
Welcome to Philip Milstein Tennis Center.
Come on.
How did you get that?
Because we were talking about the tennis center earlier.
It was welcome to the Philip and Cheryl Milstein Tennis Center.
So Philippines wasn't bad.
Yeah, okay.
Welcome in everyone to Media Day at the 2024 ITA Division I Men's Team Indoor Championships. We are joined now by the head coach of the Harvard men's tennis team. It's my dear friend, Coach Andrew Rube. Coach, first of all, congratulations to you and the guys on reaching this weekend. What does it mean to your group to be back here?
Well, to be back here, it's the first time in a while, so it means a lot. I think it shows that the kind of work we're putting in is coming to fruition. Obviously it helps we were able to host this year and have a good seed, and so the success last year, we're trying to build on that and keep the program moving forward. So it's obviously a good sign when you're here with the best 16 teams in the country, and we're fired up and ready to go.
Now,